Oh, what's going on, guys? Gamer Dude back once again, bringing you some more informative gaming news. But before we begin, y'all know the routine, or at least I hope you do by now. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe, because it would just be your good deed of the day. Same applies if you are a returning viewer. Now then, trouble within Sony, it would appear. In this video, we are going to be discussing Sony's recent round of layoffs, which takes out 8% of their global workforce. So this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything I've found regarding this, why they've done it, what could possibly have resulted in them doing this, and the reasons for them actually doing this. So first things first, Sony have recently announced significant PlayStation layoffs, which affect 900 staff, and that's a total of 8% of their global workforce. They are also set to close the London studio, and here's the kicker: they're closing that studio 5 days after one of the big PlayStation heads actually went there to celebrate his birthday, or to say thank you, or it was something on those lines anyway. I'm not too privy on those details, but I know he went there, and now 5 days later, oh yeah, we're closing it, you're all unemployed. They're not getting redistributed across Sony, they are now all unemployed. And it sucks, because I know how it feels to be made redundant in a job that you love. Anyway, this recent round of announced layoffs is affecting 900 staff members, and as I said, about 8% of the global workforce. The layoffs affect a number of PlayStation studios, which include Insomniac Games, Naughty Dog, Guerrilla, the developers behind the Horizon series, and Firesprite. More significantly, again, as I mentioned, PlayStation's London studio. Alongside these layoffs, a number of in-development games are also now unfortunately cancelled. And Sony have said this themselves, they are now unfortunately cancelled. And the layoffs have not just affected these particular studios. You know, EA's just been hit with a round of layoffs, and a planned Star Wars game has now been cancelled as well. In a blog post, outgoing Sony Interactive Entertainment boss Jim Ryan issued an update on what he called a difficult day at our company. I mean, that's putting it a little bit mildly, but let's continue. He went on to say, "We have made the extremely hard decision to announce our plan to commence a reduction in our overall headcount globally by about 8%, or around 900 people, subject to local law and consultation processes. Employees across the globe, including our studios, are heavily impacted." He then goes on to say, "The industry has changed immensely, and we need to future ready ourselves to set the business up for what lies ahead." So really kind of what that's telling me at the moment, especially after Sony have said not to expect any big PlayStation titles for the next year, you know, not to expect any sequels, like anything coming from Insomniac. So I don't know, one of those half games, like a Miles Morales inspired game from Insomniac, another Horizon game, potentially another Gran Turismo spin-off or another Gran Turismo game. We're not going to get anything out of them for another year. Anyway, Ryan goes on to say, the head, soon-to-be departed head of Sony, that is, "These are incredibly talented people who have been part of our success, and we are very grateful for their contributions. However, the industry has changed immensely, and we need to future-ready ourselves to set the business up for what lies ahead. We need to deliver on expectations from developers and gamers to continue to propel future technology into gaming. So we took a step back to ensure we are set up to continue bringing the best gaming experiences to the community." Now, I've been saying this for quite a while now. Do you remember, if you're watching now or in the future, do you remember when PlayStation's slogan used to be "for the players"? It's not about the players anymore. It hasn't been about the players for a number of years now. And that is because it's for the money. You know, every year or every other year, should I say, they keep increasing the price of PlayStation Plus. Every time a new system comes out, the price of games go up, which, okay, understandable. The price of games going up because, development costs quite a bit. They've got to make revenue back on that. I understand that. But PlayStation Plus has no excuse. Not only do you have to pay full price for this big AAA game that you want, you've then got to pay to actually play it. It's ridiculous. A lot of games nowadays, you have to have an online connection to play these new games. Even if the story mode isn't connected to online, you have to have an online connection, which means PlayStation Plus. And it sucks. The only one game I can think of right now off the top of my head that doesn't do that is Shite Night. And that's a just diabolical looter-shooter service game, and I absolutely hate those. So, yeah, moving on. So this guy, he published an email that he sent out to his staff members this morning, or this morning at the time of recording this video, that is. And he reassured PlayStation gamers that our plans for reorganizing and streamlining are so we can continue to deliver the best gaming experiences possible. I get that. I get wanting to restructure the company, I get wanting to give the players what they want and deliver the best gaming experiences possible. But do you really have to reduce 8% of your workforce to do that? It tells me that something is going on behind closed doors at Sony, something they don't want us to know. And it's unfortunate because these people have worked their asses off. And, it affects Insomniac Games as well, and they've just worked their asses off to develop Spider-Man 2 and release Spider-Man 2, and now they're being told that the majority of them are getting fired. It's like, well, f*** you then. I'm going to go work for Microsoft. That's what I'd say. But like, I'll give you secrets to Microsoft. Anyway, in the email to staff members, he went on to say, tough decisions have become inevitable, and that the layoffs affect employees across all SIE regions, with several PlayStation studios affected. Once again, most notably, the London studio being forced to close its doors. So perhaps when he went there, because it's the same guy who sent this email out, perhaps when he went to the London studio, that was kind of his way of saying goodbye to them, because he knew in advance that that studio was going to be closed. He just didn't bother to tell them. It's kind of a gut punch when you receive an email saying that you're getting fired or being made redundant rather than being told to your face. Because as I mentioned before, I know how it feels to be made redundant. And I wasn't given an email, I wasn't sent a text message, it wasn't a phone call. My boss came out of the storeroom and told all of us, told all the staff members to our faces that unfortunately the stores would be closing and we're going to be made redundant. I had absolute respect to the company for doing that. It's like, okay, it sucks, I love this job, but at least you've told me to my face and you haven't gone behind my back and sent me an email and says, right, just don't bother coming in tomorrow. That would really pee me off, and it's exactly what Sony have done to the London studio. Anyway, continuing on, US employees will be told at a later date if they still have a job. In the UK, however, where our labour laws require a consultation process for mass layoffs, Sony has proposed shutting down the PlayStation London studio, which had previously created VR games entirely. This guy, Ryan, he also didn't confirm this in his email, but it seems likely London Studios' co-op PlayStation 5 game set in a modern fantasy London is also cancelled, and any other projects from them are also cancelled. So that sucks if you're looking forward to anything from them. He also announced layoffs at fellow UK studio Firesprite, which was working on a new narrative game. The status of that game is actually currently unknown, but it must suck for that team because they've for God knows how long been pouring their time and effort into this game, and now it's just going to be shelved. It's just pointless waste of time. That's what I'd be saying if I worked for them right now. I'd be like, well, what was the point wasting my time on this? Now, elsewhere, Ryan has announced reductions in various functions across SIE in the UK as well. So it seems like the UK is getting quite affected by these layoffs rather than other regions at the moment. Because the closure of an entire studio, that's your entire staff gone. So it does seem like the UK is taking the biggest hit from this layoff at the moment. Ryan also went on to say, the proposed changes mean that we will enter a period of collective consultation before any financial decisions are taken. All employees who are part of the collective consultation will be made aware of the next steps at a later date. I don't like that either. He just says, oh, we'll let you know later. It's like, yeah, we're not going to let you know today. We're not going to let you know tomorrow. It'll just be later. So those people have got their hands on their hearts, waiting for information on this, waiting for the exact day when they're going to be told to F off and get another job, basically. They have no idea when they're going to be unemployed. Sorry about this. He rants quite a lot, so there's going to be a lot of quotes from this guy. He goes on to say, for those who will be leaving SIE, you are leaving this company with our deepest respect and appreciation for all your efforts during your tenure. For those who will be staying at SIE, we will be saying goodbye to friends and colleagues that we cherish during this process, and this will be painful for us all. Your resilience, sensitivity, and adaptiveness will be critical in the weeks and months to come. See, yeah, he's being sympathetic towards them. He's like trying to numb the blow, but he's not saying why they're doing this. Again, coming back to when I was made redundant, when my boss came out and told us all, he told us why we were being made redundant. It was so the store could close, to save money, and they were going all online, which sucks once again, but fair enough. They have not been told anything. It's just like, yeah, we're sorry, bye, which again sucks. Anyway, he continues once again, this will not be easy, and I am aware of the impact it will have on people's well-being and mental health. Affected employees will receive support, including severance benefits. While these are challenging times, it is not indicative of a lack of strength of our company, our brand, or our industry. Our goal is to remain agile and adaptable and to continue to focus on delivering the best gaming experiences possible and now in the future. See, now he keeps saying that. I've come across that quote several times from the guy. He's like, oh, yeah, we're looking on delivering the best gaming experiences possible now and in the future. How are you going to do that by laying off 8% of your worldwide workforce? You could be laying off the gaming industry's version of Einstein when it comes to creativity. It's like you could be laying off a guy that does this, that, and this, and it just makes the game that little bit. It gives the game that little bit of extra polish, if you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, they're just going to lay him off. So yeah, whatever. It sucks. So he then continues to say, we looked at our studios and our portfolio, evaluating projects in various stages of development, and have decided that some of those projects will no longer move forward, which again, totally sucks. Because although the impact of it seems mostly to hit the London studio, it affects Insomniac Games as well. And if you're a fan of Spider-Man, like I am, the Marvel Spider-Man series from Insomniac, then it's entirely possible that these layoffs could also affect the Venom game or the Wolverine game, and they could be cancelled. It's highly unlikely, but you hear what I'm saying. Now, in a separate blog post, Herman Hulst, head of PlayStation Studios, confirmed the layoffs impact the Spider-Man developer Insomniac, Last of Us developer Naughty Dog, as well as Sony's US-based technology, creative, and support teams. And Horizon developer Guerrilla Games is also affected. Now, it's not just happening at Sony with these Sony studios. As I mentioned earlier, EA Games has been hit with mass layoffs. Epic Games has been threatened with a cyber attack, similar to what happened to Insomniac Games recently. So it's all chaos at the moment in the gaming industry. I really don't know what's going on in the gaming industry at the moment. It's just exploding, really. Anyway, Hulse confirmed some games have been cancelled as part of a re-evaluation of how they operate. but failed to name the games affected. Holst went on to say, "We look at our studios and our portfolio, evaluating projects in various stages of development, and have decided that some of these projects will not move forward. I want to be clear that the decision to stop work on these projects is not a reflection of the talent or passion of these team members. Our philosophy has always been to allow creative experimentation. Sometimes great ideas don't become great ideas. Sometimes a project is started with the best of intentions before shifts within the market or industry result in a change of plan." See, once again, that is someone not telling you why they're doing this. Something is going on behind closed doors at Sony, something they don't want their employees or the fans or the players or anyone to know. And it's a bit suspicious in my eyes. The Sony cuts come during one of the most difficult periods of the gaming industry, of course, with mass layoffs throughout 2023 and continuing into this year. Last month, Microsoft axed an eye-watering 1,900 staff from its video game workforce following the $69 billion acquisition of Call of Duty owner Activision Blizzard, which I may add pretty much bankrupt Microsoft. You know, they had to do a lot to replenish their losses after buying Activision Blizzard. That's probably why they're saying, yeah, we'll sell off some of our exclusives now. But still, you see what I'm talking about. Now, earlier this month, Sony have admitted sales of the PS5 during the crucial holiday quarter had failed to meet their expectations. So, even though they haven't said anything regarding these layoffs, could this be a reason? They're trying to replenish their losses and they've had to reduce the staff workload in order to do it? Sony had set an ambiguous target for this quarter of 25 million PS5s sold during the current financial year ending in March of this year, but revised its forecast down to 21 million after sales came in lower than expected despite aggressive promotions. Well, that's hardly the employees' fault, that's hardly the fans' fault. It's Sony's fault, really, because there were no PlayStation 5s available for the longest time. And when they were available, they were so scarce that by the time you went to buy one, they were gone. So it's their own fault, really, for not meeting their own quota. Sony has still sold, though, a staggering 8.2 million PS5s during the third quarter ending in December of last year. Now, that's up from 7.1 million sold during the same quarter the previous year. But that was not enough to hit Sony's massive target. Elsewhere, though, Sony has said it will not release any major existing PlayStation franchise titles before April 2025, ruling out big sequels or half games in the God of War series and Spider-Man franchises anytime soon. And I mentioned that a bit earlier. But yeah, what do you think about all this? If you worked for Sony and you received an email like that, what would your reaction be? Would you be trying to save your job? Would you be trying to sue them? Would you be trying to get compensation? Would you be pissed? Because I'd definitely be pissed receiving an email about it after, the boss comes to visit me at my studio, just saying. Or would you just be like, okay, meh, I'm going to start looking for another job? Which, in today's economy, isn't exactly easy. But yeah, you see what I'm saying. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this. Stay tuned for more content from yours truly, more informative gaming videos coming your way, some live streams of New Game Plus games coming your way, and of course, Marvel Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus is launching soon, so I'll definitely be live streaming that. So yeah, until the next one, this has been Gamer Dude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all in the next one, guys.